Do you ever have a hard time traveling with children? Well, I have the solution. I traveled across the country last summer with 5 kids, my husband and I, in a very old RV. We went from Arizona to Pennsylvania, and boy, was it an adventure. So before we left, I came up with a few ideas that could help my children have more fun and not fight so much. The first one is a journal. Now this journal says, oh, the places we will go. Inside there's a place for them to draw a picture of themselves or family, and then a fun map that they can use as they cross the country or as they go to whatever destination they're headed to in the United States. The next thing we have is every day there'll be a place for them to kind of fill in the blank. How was the day? How was the weather? A picture of what they did or saw, and just some prompt questions of how the day went. And then on this side is where they could scrapbook. Maybe they had a receipt from where they ate lunch, or a pamphlet from where they saw a museum or something. They could use this space right here to attach those things or to draw pictures. And then there is 20 days in this journal, and then the back says best things that happened on our trip. And it's kind of a review of all the things that they liked, and then down here is a little place they could draw, kind of like a comic strip. And so this is a great journal for them to not only keep them busy, but to have for years to come. Now, if you're only going for a few days, you could just print out a few of those pages and then just continue to fill out the journal every time you go on another vacation. And so it's very versatile. Now, the other problem is kids love to ask, when can we eat? How far till we get there? And that causes all kinds of problems because they get very frustrated and tired. So I decided to make these schedules. Now this one is for the AM, and then I made another one for PM, and I just printed them on cardstock and laminated them, and then with a dry eraser you can fill in the time and what's going to be happening during that time. So if there's a movie coming up in an hour, they can see that, they won't bug you about it, they'll be able to kind of follow along, and hopefully they'll be able to have more fun in the car. Now, to help them stop fighting, because that's another problem, is I came up with these little travel tokens. Now, before we even leave, I'll hand them 3 to 5 of these tokens and just let them know that by the end of the trip, or the traveling day, if they've kept all of their tokens, then they can get a little treat from the surprise box. Now, in the surprise box are just different little fun things that I picked up at the dollar store. Some glow sticks, just little toys, brain teasers. They had little Legos for $1. And so the kids, if they kept all their tokens, they could get us something from the surprise box. And they loved that when we were traveling. They thought that was great. And it was a good way to help reward them for good behavior and then to remind them to be kind. And so if they weren't kind, if they hit their brother, they would lose a token. So by the end of the day, they needed to get all of those tokens back. Now, the other big thing is they're always hungry. I want to eat. When is it time for snacks, or when can we eat? And so I decided to come up with a little system. So these little tags say no peeking until we arrive in, and then you could fill in the blank. So from Arizona to California, maybe we're going to stop in Blythe for some gas, so that could go on our card. And so it could be either by a place or maybe after 2 hours. So whatever you want to do, you can laminate these, use a dry eraser marker so you can use these again. You could take a brown bag and get your snacks, 1 per kid, and put them inside. These are cheddar cheese freeze-dried, and you don't need to refrigerate them, which are awesome, and they taste super good. And so you just put your tag on here with some wooden clothespin clips, and you can put those in your car. You can either hang them up in the back or just keep them in the front with you so the kids can see them, and they'll know exactly when those snacks are coming. Now, when we were in the RV, I actually bought one of those shoe rack organizers, and I attached it to the back of our closet. And inside there I had all of the stops, since we were stopping so much and driving 15 to 18 hours every day. So it was a lot of traveling. Another great idea is some games. Now, this is the car bingo game. They have to look for the specific car brand and check it off. And then there's, of course, the license plate game that I'm sure you've seen around. Now, we are going to go on a short trip soon, and I kind of wanted something that was smaller. And so I came up with another idea. So these are just pencil boxes, and inside the pencil box, you'll find just a pad of plain paper. I actually bought a binding machine. I'm really excited to get going and using it. And then I decided to make these little books. So it's kind of a mini version of the big one, except for this is activities. And so I put the kids' names down here on the bottom. I laminated them. And then each page just has a game like Hangman. So I put a whole bunch of lines, and if the word they came up with doesn't have as many, they could just cross it out. And then as the person guesses, they'll cross it out and go ahead and make their hangman. And then erase it and do it again. This is a coloring page. They can either color dry eraser markers or they could trace. My kids love to trace. Anything I could draw, they love to trace. This is a Pictionary game, and so it has categories: animal, person, place, and thing. They could draw a picture of an animal and have their sibling guess what animal it is. This is a build your tower Lego game. This is base of subtraction, and there's another one for addition. And the idea is just to get small Lego blocks. You're going to stack up 2 with a person on top, and you'll start here. And you'll just roll dice and move along and do exactly what it says. It'll either say take 2, you have to answer the question, so 7 minus 6 is 1, and it says take 2 Legos. So you'll get 2 Legos from the bank, add it up. So at the very end, you want to be able to have the tallest tower. And so it's just kind of a fun little game that you could do in the car with the siblings. Now here's a place for a self-portrait. So they could draw a picture of themselves, or maybe you, or your other kids, and that's a lot of fun. Now, of course, everybody loves tic-tac-toe, so I just did a few tic-tac-toe games. There's a mini version of the license plate bingo, another page to trace and color. There's your car bingo one as well, and then here's the build the tower on the subtraction side. Actually, it's the addition one. And then the last page has 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's called Draw Your Story. And so it's kind of like, this is what happened first, second, third, and fourth on their road trip. And so these are great little fun kits, activity books that you could use over and over and over again. So all they need inside of their little container is a dry eraser marker, and these are great because they have erasers on the back side. These are from the dollar store. You get 3 for $1. A bag of crayons. There are 2 pencils. Their white paper, and then their little activity book all goes inside this little thing. So that's it. And then I let them pick a book. And so this will be what they have for the road trip. So to keep my snacks organized, I will take a big gallon size one and then put all my smaller snack size ones inside. So I have one for each child, and I'll just zip it up. And then before we go, I'll load them into their these little bags right here. And then I'm ready to go. Now, because we need to come back to home too, I'll also already prepare everything for the road trip home. And so I have all my bags ready to go, and I'm prepared to have the best trip I can possibly have with my 5 kids. You can find the journal, all the schedules, the tokens, and everything else that I've created for you on my Etsy shop at brightleystreet.com. At the top right, you'll see an air balloon, and just click on that and they'll go right to all the things I have available for you to check out. As well as, if you go to brightleystreet.com, click under Home and Family and click on Traveling with Kids, you can see some of the video of our adventures last summer and pictures as well as the snack station we had behind our closet. So we hope you'll stop by Brightly Street, subscribe, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for joining us. My name is Malia, and we'll see you next time.